Me, invited me and to make a speech like this. Thank you very much. I have been 2 times here before, twice. One of them was related to Philosophical Society Macedonia's organization. This organization, I mean. I think 4 years ago, I have been here. And then I joined a conference which was organized by the Philosophical Society of Macedonia. And I like here, and I am very happy to be here again. Thank you very much. And I have selected 3 films, 3 Turkish films. Maybe you are asking, why did you choose these 3 films? Last year I was a jury member in Urfa, in a Turkish city. And I watched these films. I watched many films, and I liked these 3 films. Why? Because they're you have watched. They're all about daily relations, daily human relations, and I think in our daily life we are missing the objects, the human, the animals, or other kinds of things, because we are living in a world where we cannot see things as they are. Why? Because we have so many economic interests, we have so much prejudice, and also daily routines, and this kind of activities, including ideologies, technological lifestyle, science, this kind of abstract thinking can prevent us seeing some things. And I believe that we have to go to the Agora again. Agora was a marketplace where philosophy was originated. And as you know, at the Agora, people were talking to each other. And philosophy was not academic activity, Philosophy was not done in the academic ivory tower. Philosophy was about daily relations. That is why cinema is a good opportunity for us to see the daily life, Agora, marketplace, this kind of things. I think you have some questions?
No, just to finish
okay.
Your speech and then we'll continue with the questions. Yeah.
Okay. So, this is the first point. And in fact, many philosophers have touched this issue, including Immanuel Kant, Friedrich Nietzsche, Spinoza, Gilles Deleuze, Félix Guattari, and for example, Immanuel Kant's main questions, you remember. What can I know? What should I do? And what can I hope for? I believe that the second question, what should I do and what can I hope for, are the basic questions for the cinema. Cinema was particularly focused on these 2 questions. What should I do? What should behave to others? And the third question, what can I hope for? And these movies, I think, are in connection with this kind of questions. And short movies are particularly important, significant in this way. Why? Long feature films are showing some cliché images and routine activities. I mean, it is very long and you have to fill it up, fill the images with mundane activities. And there are lots of repetition in the long feature films. But short films had to condense the idea, make it short. That is why I think It is a kind of thought-provoking movies. I believe that, and also, you know, short movies. Short movies. Okay, this is the point that I want to say. I mean, short movies has to condense the idea. This is very important point. And my methodological approach is this. Can you change the slide, please? I'm using some concepts in order to make analyze between movies and the philosophical ideas. And I believe that films are doing their own philosophy. 4 years ago, I have explained this point. And in this speech, I said that actually there is no cinema and philosophy relationship. Philosophy can be done different ways, can be done with different ways. There are lots of ways to be done. For example, at the market, I mean Agora, you know, at the Agora, philosophy was done by dialogues. Socrates and young people, for example. And anyone couldn't ask any question whether or not this was philosophy. This was philosophy. But philosophy was done by a dialogue. And then, as you know, writing took over the way of philosophy. And we think that without writing, it is impossible to do philosophy. And this thinking, you know, was common all around the world. And then cinema came, and with the cinema, it became another kind of philosophy. Images start to do another kind of philosophy. And I am using this kind of concepts. The first one, affection image. I will touch this issue now. Encounter, morality, ethics, mourning and melancholia, aletheia, molar and molecular distinction. Can you change the slide, please? And the third movie that you have watched is, you know, I have just, and I would like to start with this short movie. Actually, this short film was adapted by Anton Chekhov's story. And the story's name, Anton Chekhov's story's name is "To Whom Shall I Tell My Grief?" Sometimes it was translated into misery. And I read this story. I read lots of Anton Chekhov's story. And there's some kind of relationship between literary and, you know, cinema. But literary can be done with the written words. It is another kind of philosophy. And cinema is different from the literary. I will explain this point. When you compare the Anton Chekhov's story with the short movie, you can see that there are some minor distinctions, minor differences between them. In Anton Chekhov's story, there is a slight driver, which is called, I don't know how I can pronounce it, Ionia, something like this. Iona. Iona is a slight driver, and he has lost his son 1 week ago, and he tries to tell his grief to others. But no one wanted to hear this grief. And at the end of the story, written story, Iona tells his grief to the horse, his horse. And the horse is just only listener available. Anyone, any people don't want to hear the grief of the driver. So this movie also, inside the movie you can see the driver, taxi driver, and he tries to tell his story to others, but nobody wants to hear this story, and everybody dismissed this story, neglects the story, and at the end of the story, at the end of the movie, he tries to his sorrow to the a dog in the street. Yeah. So what the point? My point. Actually, we can use a few concepts in order to analyze this movie. The first one is affection image. Maybe you have heard the name Gilles Deleuze. Gilles Deleuze is very significant guy in terms of cinema analysis. He is philosopher and also as well as film philosopher. I read Gilles Deleuze books 15 years ago, and I was very impressed. That is why I founded Sинефилозофи journal in 2016, and I have been publishing this journal according to Gilles Deleuze analysis or conception or method. So this is the detail. Okay, I'm coming back to can you change the slide, please? I am coming back to the affection image. According to Gilles Deleuze, in the movement, there are two books of him. One of them is movement image, cinema one. The second one is time image. Cinema 2. In the first book, movement image, he makes a distinction between three types images. One of them is perception image. The second one is action image, and the third one is affection image. What does it mean? I can see the water here in front of me, and I have many options to do with the water. Can you hold it, please? Please. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I am seeing the water. Perception. I perceive the water. What can I do now? I am opening the tap and I am drinking. Yeah, I am thirsty. Because I am thirsty. Yes, this is the action. This is the action. The second image is action. But there is another option that I can do. I can see the water and just see. And when I see the water, camera can capture my face, close up in the first movie. And I have just, the short movie I have just, and also in the Dank, there are lots of close-ups. And when you look at the close-ups, you can see the faces. There are lots of faces. I have just in the movie I have just the driver faces. There are two kinds of faces, according to Gilles Deleuze. In the close-up, we can see two kinds of faces. One face is reflective face. Reflective, what does it mean? Reflective face, projects some things. It is a kind of mirror. Okay? There is no visible trace in this face. There is no power in this face. Just looking at the sky, for example. And it is flexible face, reflective face. And the second face is intense face. I can call it intense face. There are lots of power traces in the face, in this face. And there are two types of faces, and when you look at the movie, you can see I believe that, you can be against me, there is one type of face, reflective face. When he is alone, I mean when the driver is alone, taxi driver is alone, his face is very tired. His body is very tired. In line with the face, you can make a classification bodies, two kinds of bodies. Ceremonial bodies, and also you can call it grotesque body. And the second type of body is tired body, tired. And in the movie you see the tired body as well as ceremonial body. When he is alone, his body is tired and his face is reflective. And when he is working in the cab, his body, his body is changing. He is shaping his body. He is shaping his face. His face is like grotesque. When if you watch a Hollywood movie, classical Hollywood movie, you can think that this guy is psychopath. Yes, this driver can be psychopath, sociopath. Why? You can see the camera, you can see the face in the camera. So, but at the end of the movie, you can see that he is not psychopath. And while he is working, his face is grotesque, okay, but his face is not changing. His face is flexible. Why? At this point, we can I think apply the analysis of Freud, yeah, mourning and melancholia. I am not sure if you read the paper of Sigmund Freud paper. I mean, in 1915 it was written, published, Mourning and Melancholia, and it is very great paper. In this paper, Mourning and Melancholia, Freud makes a distinction between melancholia and mourning. And according to Freud, mourning is a natural process to the missing object. I mean, when you lose your son or any person that you value, or any object that you value, or any principle, any idea like freedom. When you lose freedom, and when you lose your country, you can be in a process mourning. You can be mourning process. And what is important is this. Yes, mourning process is a natural process, but you can pass over this process with naturally or unnaturally. I mean, if you identify with the object, and if you cannot leave the mourning process naturally, healthy, you can go into the melancholia. You can be under trauma and then melancholia. Melancholia is a pathological response to the missing object. And in this movie, you can see that, I believe that the guy, the driver, is in between mourning and melancholy process. He is going into the melancholy process. Why? Because he doesn't leave the mourning process naturally. I mean, it was not a healthy process. We don't know the past. We didn't see any image about the past, about the funeral, about the son's passing away from this world. We cannot see any kind of images, but we guess that the guy is under trauma. And why? Freud touches this issue internal process. I mean, the psychological way. Freud works. Freud makes analysis in this psychological way, psychoanalytical way, and he gives important internal turmoil rather than societal process. And a little before, I have said that cinema or films can do their own philosophy, and cinema can make a contribution to some analysis which was done by thinkers or philosophers. Sigmund Freud didn't touch the issue of societal neglect and societal indifference. There is some kind of societal indifference here. The taxi driver tries to express himself in front of others, but there was no person who wanted to listen to him. So this is a kind of societal neglect, societal indifference. And cinema makes a contribution to Sigmund Freud analysis, because Freud didn't touch this issue. Freud didn't care about the societal neglect. So at the end of the movie, he wanted to express himself to the dog. Okay. I have just this kind of movie, and the second movie, Dank. Maybe we can pass to the Dank. Dank, yes. Again, we can see the face. We can see the face, and we can see the hesitation a lot. There are two persons in the movie. One of them is a woman, the other is a guy, and their capital, their cultural capitals are very different from each other. And there can be three kinds of capital. One capital is economic capital, the other capital is social capital, and the third capital is cultural capital. And philosopher and also sociologist Pierre Bourdieu discussed the issue, argued this issue. Cultural capital is significant in many ways. And in this movie, woman's cultural capital is different from the cultural capital of the worker. And actually, both of them are workers. One of them is mental laborer, and the other is, manual laborer. And there is some kind of communication problem between them. Why this communication problem come from? Because their past, their cultural capital is very different from each other, and their bodies doesn't communicate with each other. Their faces doesn't communicate with each other, and there are lots of misunderstandings between them. The woman is very kind, is a gentle woman, and she is very kind to the guy, to the plumber. But the guy misunderstands this point. So camera reveals this fact, this hesitation, this misunderstanding. In the literary, when you try to write, you have to, write all the details. But cameras just show us their bodies, their face. And we can easily understand that the hesitation, which is between the perception image and the action image, reveals their hidden dimension, their subconscious way of them. And this is the short film success, I think. And the third movie, tradition. And we have to talk about a little more, I think, than the others. And I think the movie argues the meaning of tradition. First of all, what is the tradition? In sociological way, and also in philosophical way, and in the social science, there are lots of debates about the meaning of tradition. But this movie, I think, can make a separation between two kinds of tradition. We think that tradition is just one type way. But in this movie, tradition, there are two kinds of tradition. One kind of tradition is coming from the religious ideas, religious rules, religious belief. And this is the bureaucratic way of tradition. In the movie, as you see, there is one imam, and imam has lots of hesitations about whether or not he would announce the passing away the person, the Christian man, and the residents of the town, and particularly the scrap dealer, are against the imam. And what are their points? Why they are against the imam at this point? Because the scrap dealer is a religious guy, you know. He's praying, and he's behaving his actions. He is caring. He is taking care of their actions. And this guy is buying some things and selling some things, and this guy takes an initiation to use the loudspeaker. In the movie, in daily life, do we see the loudspeaker according to our benefits, according to our interests? We see the loudspeaker. It is invisible. It is invisible in front of our eyes. We cannot see. But in the movie, it can be visible. Why? There is a problem. You know, Wittgenstein says that language is a kind of game. Language is a kind of play. And the meaning of word is its use in languaga. The meaning of word. There is no flexible meaning of words. The meaning of word is in its use in the languaga. So we can transfer this expression to the objects. In the film, there is a loudspeaker, and this loudspeaker meaning is changing. These objects, the meaning of object is changing according to the context. And at the end of the movie, the scrap dealer takes an action and uses the loudspeaker in a different way. And there is a concept used by Alain Badiou, philosopher Alain Badiou, and he applies the concept generic humanity. I would like to use this concept in order to analyze this movie. I believe that there are two ways of traditions. One type of tradition is religious or bureaucratic way of tradition, and it is like top-down tradition. And the second type of tradition is coming, from the bottom to up, from the bottom to up, and it is our way of generic way of tradition. There are some kinds of similarities between people. When a person dies, many people would like to respect to the passing. The guy, deceased guy. And in this movie, residents of the town and the scrap dealer, even though the guy is Christian, they have to pay respects to the guy, and this is the generic humanity. And this is another kind of tradition. And when we try to analyze this movie, and also we can use the molar and molecular distinction, molar and molecular. Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari applied this distinction. In this movie, molar way of behave, is related to religious activities. Imam and also other religious groups have their rigid rules, their strict rules, and these rigid rules are not flexible. They do not want to discuss the meaning of them. They do not want to change the rigid rules. This is the modern way of life. And against this modern way of life, we can talk about the molecular way of life. Molecular way of life means you have to be active agent in our life. You have to make a difference in our life. So the scrap dealer takes an initiation and makes a difference. This is the action. And I hope we can proceed according to your questions, because there were lots of things in my mind, but I have lost all of them. Okay? Because I am very tired. But according to your questions, I can answer and I can go.
Okay, Serdar, first thank you for the speech. Имаме ли прашања од публика за Сердар? Дали би сакале да ја отвориме дискусијата или да предам јас со моите подготвени прашања? Okay, so you already answered the first part of my first question. I want to ask you about the selection, but you already said something about that. But I would like to ask you, why do you think that these three films are the most suitable for presenting Turkish short film or Turkish philosophical short film to a Macedonian audience?
In Turkey, short film is very common. Many young people are producing short films, and these short films are screened in the lots of festivals. Actually, I am not fan of short films. I do not have any chance to lots of short films. When I was invited to a jury member to any festival, I can find any chance to watch short films, and I have watched these films. And when I was watching these films, I remembered the Krakauer's analysis. Maybe you have heard the Sigvard Krakauer. He was German film philosopher, and one of the book of Sigvard Krakauer, it is very difficult to pronounce it. Krakauer, yes. Krakauer's book, Theory of Film. I suggest, I recommend that you should read this book. And in this book, Rekar makes a point that in the real life, actually, we need to rescue the real life, physical life. I hope you got my point. He believes that physical life, we can see the physical life. We can live the physical life as it is. In the physical life, objects, human relations, as well as other kind of stuffs, inanimate or animate objects, cannot be seen. Actually, I have explained a little before. Why? Because, you know, we have many interests about things, about the life. We have economic interests. We have, you know, science, for example. Science. What is science doing? What is this science method? Science tries to abstract, tries to generalize everything. This is the method of science. It is, I mean, science is not enough seeing the objects. Science is not enough to give meaning to the life. Or science works with abstraction. Okay? This is the point. And the second thing, nowadays we are using social media in Macedonia, probably in Turkey. There are young people and elder people. All of people are using social media, and these kind of devices make it faster our life. Okay, our life is our life is, you know, is flying in the sky. We cannot stop. We cannot meditate on some things. We cannot see anything. So, what is cinema doing? Cinema is projecting. Cinema is like a kind of mirror and see the things as they are. How can it possible? How can it be possible to see the things as they are? How can cinema do it? Cinematic operations. With cinematic operations. What kind of operations? Montage, close-up, middle shot, you know, sound, color, camera movement, and camera angles. These kind of operations can make beings visible to us. So that is why I prefer these movies, other than other reasons. There are other reasons, but the main reason I select these movies is that these movies are, I think, you know, showing the real life, showing the real relations. There are lots of short movies which screen the science fiction events, for example, super real things. But I believe that rather than applying super real things, first of all, we need to live as it is. We need to see the life as it is. This is the philosophy. This is the basic philosophy. This is the significant philosophy. You know, philosophy started at the marketplace, at the bazaar. And people were doing lots of activities at the bazaar. They were making dialogues, and their dialogues were about the meaning of life. The basic question, how should behave to others? This is the ethical questions. And I believe that cinema, and particularly cinema and generally art, are dealing with these questions. How should we behave to others? But by saying others, I don't want to say that from the anthropocentric point of view. Body concept is very different according to Spinoza. Everything is a body. This is body. And also in the movie you saw the cat. You remembered? A cat. Actually, in the movie, in the short movie, there were 5 cats. 5 cats. He was looking one cat, okay? Handicapped cat. And so in our life, what is the meaning of cat? Cat is an animal, okay. It is an instrument, okay. But cat is cat in itself, okay? So in the movie, I believe that cat can be visible to us from not anthropocentric point, from the point of film, from the point of cinema. So I believe in the movie, cat, loudspeaker, and horse. I have just in the movie you have seen the horse, okay, and this kind of objects and animals, everything is a kind of body. Why? Because they affect us. They affect us. In the movie, you know, Christian man. I mean, Taylor asked the scrap dealer to look for the cat. Why? Because the cat affected on you. This is the affection. But there are, you know, this is a kind of encounter. I have forgotten to say encounter. Encounter is very significant in human life. There are 2 kinds of encounter, according to philosopher Spinoza. One type of encounter was diminishing power encounter. When we encounter some things, for example, a person, a cat, I don't know, a relation, this is an encounter. This encounter can diminish our power. Can decrease our power. So according to Spinoza, if any encounter can decrease your power, you could get away from these objects or people. This is the ethical duty. And when an encounter increases your power, this is creative encounter and you should follow it. At this point, you know, in the tradition, for example, cat and Christian man encounter was creative encounter. And the residents of the town and Christian man encounter was very creative encounter. Why? Because the residents of the town were against the imam's decision, you know. So the junk dealer, the scrap dealer, and the Christian man encounter was very energetic and creative encounter. Yeah.
Okay. Before I ask my second and last question, are there any questions from the audience? Oh, okay.
Hi, chap. Is there a sense, like, can you look at this through the angle more of social class? Because I think that brings the 3 films together. In each film there's like a relationship between the working class and middle class, like the scrap dealers and the imam, the plumber and the film students, the taxi driver and the passengers. And isn't there a sense in which in most of these films that's a gap that cannot be bridged? I don't know if that makes sense. And it's only in the first film when the working class effectively self-organise and replace the middle class that there's any kind of positive outcome. I don't know if you can speak about that a bit more.
Yes, all of the films convey the class differences, but you cannot see the high class. I mean, in the films. Yes, you are right, middle class. But in what way they are middle class? Maybe cultural way. For example, in the Dank movie, you see the woman, and this woman is not has not cultural economic capital. She is not rich woman. She has cultural capital, but nevertheless, there is a distinction between the woman and the man. Why? Because muscular or manual laborer, which is, who is the plumber? Plumber has no cultural capital. I believe that these movies can show us the bottom relations. Worker class, as generally worker class. You can see the tailor. Tailor is an elderly man, but nevertheless his cultural capital is much higher than the other guys. You cannot understand the Turkish intonation of the people, Turkish voice of the people, but we can easily understand. We can easily understand that they have lots of differences between them. But when you see the subtitle, you can make a difference. You cannot get the differences a lot, probably. But all of the film focus on the low and middle class rather than high classes. And the films, are showing us the life of the low classes and their economic difficulties as well. This is the sociological standpoint of the films. But we are at the Philosophical Film Festival, and rather than touching the sociological way of analyzing films, I think we should focus on the philosophical argument. Maybe we can discuss after this panel. Okay?
Може да го прашам последно, каква е состојбата во турската кинематографија? Дали смеа да го критикува владеечиот режим или систем или нешто, дали се цензурирани или не?
He asked what is the situation in Turkey when it comes to filmmakers. Can they criticize the government?
Yeah, this is the critical question, but I can answer it. Yes, yesterday I think the Iranian director Jafar Panahi got an award, and which award I don't remember what it's called.
The main one, Palme d'Or.
Palme d'Or, yes. Thank you very much. And Iranian film directors are making movies in a different way. There is a censorship in Iran, but nevertheless they are making success. Why? Because they are giving their messages in a hidden way or mediated way, okay? And they are applying art. They are applying art rather than dictation from the top. You can dictate some things from the top, and like teaching some things, you can make a movie. I'm against this kind of movies. The importance of art is to ability to show some things in a different way or mediated way. We should feel the reality in mediated way of affection. Emotion is at this point is very important, because art is not science. Art is not a kind of teaching some things to others. So in Turkey as well, Turkey actually, its name has changed. Turkey, we say Turkey now. In Turkey, movie directors, I think nowadays are changing their style to the similar those Iranian the Iranian directors. Yes. Now that there are some problems, you should get some finance from the Minister of Culture and Cinema Directorate in Turkey, and you need finance. You need finance and budget, and that is why you should create different types of images. You should create different type of images, and I can see this mediation a lot nowadays. And this is the skill of them, I think. Yeah.
For the end, I'd like to step a bit outside the main topic of this discussion and ask you something that interests me as a young person, artist, as young culture event organizer. I'd like to ask you, what is the situation in Turkey when it comes to young artists, young filmmakers, young writers, young cultural workers? Because here in Macedonia, I can say that in recent years there has been serious revival of the cultural scene.
Did you translate to the guy?
Ви треба превод на одговорот? No, yeah. He understands it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm asking this because here in Macedonia I can say that in recent years there has been a serious revival of the cultural scene driven by a whole new generation of young artists. So I'm curious, what is the situation in your country, and how do you, as a professor, as an event organizer, as a festival organizer who engages with young people, see the young generation of artists there?
Okay. Yeah, I am professor at the Communication Faculty, Radio, Television and Cinema Department, and I can answer this question from my point. Okay, in 2016 I founded a journal which is called Sинefilozофи. Sинefilozофи is an international journal, academic peer review journal, and this is the volunteer organization. And inside this organization, there are lots of young people collecting, around the journal. We have created a collective organization in which young people, elderly people like me, and professors, and even the workers got together, and everybody is teaching some things to another one. Yeah, it is like volunteer organization, collective organization, and we are just doing some things in order to change ourselves, in order to overcome ourselves, in order to actualize ourselves. Okay? There is no money. This is the point. Yeah, there is no money. I mean, we cannot make money. And in fact, I do not want to make money so much. Money is an instrument, as you know. What is the motivation source? What has to be motivation source in human being? This is the big question. I believe that helping to others, creating ourselves, are another kind of motivation source. And in Turkey, there is an organization like this. And also in Turkey nowadays, there are lots of organizations emerging. Why? Because in any country, including maybe Macedonia, in any country, if there is a problem, you can respond to this problem with different ways. There can be different types of minor groups, minor cultural centers. And nowadays there are lots of cultural centers in Turkey, interestingly. And everybody is going to philosophical discussions, interestingly. And some people are making money by giving some philosophical lessons, classes, okay? On Zoom and as well as physical environment. This is another point. The third question, Immanuel Kant's question, what can I hope for? Okay? And according to this data, according to reality, I think hopefully in the future some things can change. But when I look at the world, I'm not so sure about this because all around the world, populist parties are coming to power, and nationalist parties are coming to power, conservative parties are coming to power. So we have to resist, I think, by creating some volunteer organizations. And philosophy at this point is very significant, I think. In Macedonia, I don't know. Yeah. Yes, I know. You have this organization, Philosophical Society as well, and also film festival. And this is big steps, I think, in order to educate people. But I can see a few people here. I think they don't like the Turkish short movies. But yesterday, the salon was full of people who would like to watch David Lynch. Okay, they have many chance to watch David Lynch movies, but they don't have any chance Turkish movies. So this is the negative point of about the future.
You should make Turkish movies days in Macedonia.
Okay. How is it possible?
It's possible. A few years ago, there was in the center of cinema in Millennium the day of Turkish movies.
Okay. I have two guys here from Sinefilozofi. They took notes, and we can evaluate this situation. We can assess this situation after this panel. Thank you very much for good advice.
Serdar, thank you. It was a pleasure hearing you here again on Philosophical Film Festival. So we can continue the discussion in the bar. Okay, thank you everyone.